Hi, and thank you for tuning into SuperShero, where we're sharing tips and experiences and stories about all the amazing women doing amazing things in these uncertain times. I'm here today with the women of Pop Cycle on 4th Avenue, Dee Dee Kanan, Jen Radler, Shannon Riggs, and Libby Toby. Thank you all so much for talking with us today.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thanks for having us.
So does somebody want to give me like a 60-second, what is Pop Cycle?
Libby?
Popsicle started in 2008, and we had Dee Dee, Shannon, and Jen started it. They were making their own products and needed bigger studio space. If I remember correctly, Shannon and Jen wanted a store, but Dee Dee didn't. Anyways, and they started making a lot of their work is made out of recycled and reclaimed elements, and it's all handmade in Tucson. And so they kind of opened the store, but then they started carrying their friends' work and other people doing similar things with the same mission. Anyone can jump in.
And now we have like 90 artists and mostly local. And we try to still keep that sustainability element as the kind of the center of the concept. Yeah.
That's great. Very cool. And so you're on the heart of 4th Avenue in Tucson. I know that you're really active in some of the historic coalition work, a lot of nonprofit and advocacy work. So I guess my question to you is how do you foster and maintain a sense of community in a time like this when we're all told to stay in our homes?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, we're having an historic 4th Avenue Coalition Zoom meeting tonight. So I guess we've got some ideas. So it was actually our meeting that was scheduled for this month anyway. So we will see. I think that for the last 2 weeks, we've just been kind of dealing with the immediate effects for Pop Cycle. But now that that's starting to settle down and we're starting to solidify our plan there a little bit, we can hopefully start branching out into doing some more community-centered activities.
Well, actually, even from the get-go, I mean, when we were trying to decide whether we were going to close our business or not, I think that all of us small business owners started talking to each other. And I think it's super helpful in like unsettling times to have an ear and also to see how everybody else is reacting and what they think like is the best ways to protect our community. So many of us closed before we were even asked to, because we knew that it was imperative that our community safety is more important than profit. And so I think we have been talking to each other throughout this whole thing, and kind of having that base is super helpful to feel like you're not in it alone.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So obviously you are, on the heart of 4th Avenue, and I know you're really involved in the community on a regular basis, and with advocacy work and with the historic 4th Avenue Coalition. What advice do you have to people about creating and fostering community in a time like this when, we're all told to stay inside our own homes?
Well, I would say as soon as this happened, the coalition is trying to figure out like how these small businesses can sustain this pretty drastic, I guess, disaster that nobody really could have foreseen. So we created like a small business coalition group where we can share information about loans and what the government's doing, what the city's doing, what's available out there. We've partnered with LFA on many of these things. And then also we've used each other as a support group to just kind of messaging back and forth about, what are you doing with your business? And then kind of using each other's ideas, because everybody's coming up with inventive ideas. And so kind of piggybacking, like if something works, then you can say like, hey, try this, it works. So I think that's been super helpful.
Yeah. And we're having our Historic 4th Avenue Coalition meeting tonight on Zoom. So that should be interesting because there's a lot of us and we all like to talk at the same time. But I think that's good. It's going to be a brainstorming session to try to figure out how we can reach out and help community members more in this
That's
time.
great. That's awesome. And you talked a little bit, you teased us with some of the creative, inventive ideas. I know I'm seeing a lot from you on Facebook with the 360 tours of your store and now curbside or front porch delivery. Can you just talk a little bit about the things that you're doing to continue operations in this time?
Yeah, the 360 thing was something I thought I'd play around with. It worked out pretty well. It was definitely a learning curve on that. So there'll be more things added to it later, and I'm working on it. Yeah, and just it's been kind of fun actually driving people's orders around to their doorsteps. I used to deliver sandwiches in college, so it kind of reminds me of that. I'm learning my way around Tucson, and getting the lay of the land again, which is fun. Yeah, just anything we can do right now to stay relevant. It's not even really about, I mean, of course it is about making money, but it's also just keeping, when this is over, people remember that we're still here.
And I would say we've gotten really super sweet notes. Like people are like very actively trying to support small businesses right now. And we've been giving, of course, free stuff in each thing that we deliver. And just kind of, Libby's been writing a thank you to everybody. Because we are super thankful and really grateful that the community is continuing to support Popcycle and the over 100 local artists that we support. And we've been getting really sweet notes back from the community, and that's been really, I don't know, it just kind of, makes you feel better in these uncertain times.
Yeah, I'm glad you're getting that kind of feedback too. Do you have any advice for other business owners about being flexible or creative or inventive during these times?
Well, I would say to keep an eye out, see what other people are doing. If it looks like if it's working, then try it. And then ask questions. Like if somebody's doing something, like right now, I think that it really feels good to help other people. And so if you reach out and say hey, is that working? It also empowers the person that's doing the thing, because truthfully, we're all in this together. We're not going to get out of it alone. And so I think that we have to collaborate if we really want to be effective right now.
I mean, how do you think this might change your business long term?
Well, I think that any time there's a struggle and you're forced to make changes, that it does lend to being really creative and thinking outside your normal operations. And this is a very creative group that we have, and including our employees and our artists, and everybody has really good ideas. And I think that that is going to lend to some things we had never thought of using as a tool to reach an audience and our community. So I think that in the long run, I think it's going to be a positive experience in that way, in that it's going to create some new types of growth for everybody. And I think that that's important to try to remember, that in the midst of the crap of it, when it's hard times, that there is light on the other side, and we will all move forward in ways that we're forced to move forward in.
Yeah, I appreciate your optimism. I think it's really important to remember that, and to sort of find the opportunities in the difficult times, all while helping your neighbors. So the theme of this whole series is SuperShero. And I think SuperShero is, even getting dressed and walking into your office, in your house, or, making sure the kids are fed, or homeschooling, or, figuring out how to get a business online. That's such an in-store experience. So who are your SuperSheroes? Anybody that you want to recognize?
Well, I'm inspired by my team, my partners. And I think that Dee Dee and Shannon working so hard to research the grants, and also Jen and Dee Dee and Shannon also trying to find hours for when we did close to like repair the store and things like that, but always thinking, never giving up, and constantly working and striving and thinking of a different way, but listening to everyone that they come in contact with. And I know that it's just been a trying time, but I think that I've really watched that pattern grow over the 10 years or 11 years we've been here. And it's inspiring to me. And it also it brings so much hope and optimism to me. And there's so many others in the community. I'm looking at teachers that are doing homeschooling, and our friend Steph, who's also an artist here, teaching gardening at school, but then what she implements with her kids. And there's just so many inspirations in Tucson in our community. I'll let someone else join in.
So I think I've really been impressed with our neighbors on the avenue. Some mention in our block is the 4th Avenue Deli. She's over there hustling all the time, and just kept her doors open, and really she just took that over a couple of months ago. So yeah, just to see her like really, we try to get a sandwich there whenever we can, and I hope that the food is great. I hope people are patronizing those restaurants that are going the extra mile to either deliver or do curbside. And even this early winter, our neighbors, like, they hustled some merch and went and drove it all around town. Like, they couldn't make you a drink, but they got you a t-shirt. And Lauren across the street at Razor's Edge, you had some innovative ideas with gift certificates of how to generate some money now that people can spend later, which is hopeful, that we're going to be here after this. So yeah, our neighbors have all had really, and the ladies at Eastland Alley, who just opened like last week or 2 weeks ago, they've got some ideas for some things they want to do for the community with some t-shirt sales. So we're going to partner with them. HVAC is. So yeah, just the ladies on our block. Those are all people on our block that are just doing it. It's great. You know anything? Yeah.
Agreed. I would say I've definitely seen Tucson step up, and also I'd have to say, like, right now, people in the medical field, I mean, they're really putting their lives on the line for us right now, and under really difficult circumstances with really poor leadership. So I think that they deserve a lot of respect from our community. And I definitely think this is going to be an opportunity to rethink how we think about our communities, and maybe a reset, and we start thinking about things more holistically, because from the get-go, like, Popsicles thought that, like, we can't exist in a vacuum, that everybody's health and wealth is part of what makes Popsicle work. And hopefully this is an opportunity for more people to embrace that idea.
We have a wealth of powerful women, and everybody has their different strengths. And the fact that Dee Dee and Shannon are leading the coalition to reach out to our community and to keep us not only in touch with our community, but really bound to our community is incredibly heroic, in my opinion. And Libby coming every day and doing her best and fighting through her own struggles and being scared and still wanting contact with our customers. So that's my.
Also, like, give props to our employees too, who
Yeah.
have been very patient with us, and especially our social media team. We don't do that social media stuff alone. We have two people who are our social media team who've kept that rolling along as well. And then our other staff just being patient while we try to figure out, what the next step forward is, has been incredibly supportive and helpful as well. And they're all ladies too.
A lot of SuperSheros. Dee Dee?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I agree with Jen. Kudos to Libby. Like, she really is the heart of Popsicle, and so it's really important that and she shows up every day with her heart wide open, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Libby.
You guys are making me emotional.
Thank you all. I mean, but I do think that the philosophy that these three brought to the table of Pop Cycle, of being open and growing and always partnering or listening to others and seeing everyone as an equal, and rising to different, I mean, learning different ways to do something, and coming from the artist background and then doing that and then becoming more community involved over the 11 years has been like so wonderful to be part of. But we've learned so much, and I love trying to grow with them.
Well, you're all inspirations, and I really appreciate you opening up on this interview. I think, there are moments of creativity, there are moments of vulnerability, and struggle, and I just think it's such a great encapsulation of like what everyone's going through right now. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Anyone have anything you wanted to say that you didn't before we sign off? No? Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I do. I was just going to say thank you so much for thinking of us and reaching out and always supporting us, and then also inspiring so many young women with the foundation. And we just really appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you all. I have no doubt that you're going to come out the other side stronger, and that you'll bring your community and your neighbors with you, as a team, as a group, because that's just who you are. And I think that's who Tucson is. So thank you. Thank you, women of Pop Cycle. Really appreciate your time. And thanks for watching SuperShero. Share your own stories. Shout out your own SuperSheroes. Share your advice for getting through this time all over social media. And please visit womengiving.org. Thank you.